so this week we watched which one was even our Patreon pick? Our Patreon pick for this week, what was it? Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
I guess I'll talk about it since...
Yeah.
So Revenge of the Nerds is about two college kids who all they can think about is sex and shit. They get to the campus and, oh boy, they're nerds and they don't know it. And so they start to form their own, like, fraternity, and they overcome trials and tribulations, and, hijinks ensue. And then nerds end up ruling the fucking college, and this movie's fucking silly. What did you guys think?
Fun fact... the University of Arizona agreed to let them shoot there, but then, after reading the script, they said no, and then they changed their mind again later.
I feel like, didn't this also happen with, what the fuck was it, something in the Brotherhood?
You're thinking of Scream, where a school agreed to let them shoot there, and then read the script and said no, but they didn't change their mind again.
Yeah, because they were included in the credits. It was funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Hi guys, we're reviewing a comedy. Was it funny?
I don't know. I thought it was fine.
I think definitely... it was decently funny.
Holy shit, Nico. Nico, can you see what I wrote on that top line there?
Holy smokes, you thought it was decently funny.
I'm just gonna go ahead and get Jackson's thoughts on this out of the way if you guys want really quick.
Sure, I think since there are three of them, we can each take one of them.
There we go.
Sure.
So here's Jackson's thoughts on Revenge of the Nerds. This movie is a very generic feeling comedy with a very overdone idea. Though
Dude,
maybe
is that your
wasn't
best Jackson voice?
Okay, sorry. This is a very generic feeling comedy with a very overdone idea. Though maybe that wasn't the case when it came out in 1984. This would have been a really inoffensive, like, C-tier movie comedy to me if it wasn't for the incredibly morally reprehensible sexual deviancy these people get up to in their revenge against the popular people. That being installing hidden cameras to spy on the girls undressing, as well as, of course, the panty raid, selling plates of one of the main girls topless, totally fucked, and then raping her. I don't think that counts, but okay. I don't care that she was into it in the end. It's still so fucked that they totally play it off for jokes, which is super uncomfortable. Because of this, I'm legitimately dropping it over a letter rank to a D-. I wasn't excited for this movie, but apparently that was for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I don't know if it sounds weird for me to say that I disagree with the whole rape portion of that. I think it was definitely a shock for her to discover it was not the dude she thought it was, but like,
that's one way of putting that.
Dude, before they even had sex, she was fine with it, so... Oh, I guess that's not true.
Okay, Dylan, I'm just... To keep you out of legal trouble, that was a rape.
I mixed up the timelines. I forgot that he revealed himself after the fact. Never mind.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. I just thought this movie was silly. I've definitely seen snippets of it before in the past. I don't know. I don't... hate movies like this. It's also not trying super hard, so like it's what I did kind of agree with Jackson in the fact of where it's like the whole middle portion with the whole panty raid and installing cameras, that whole portion was kind of whatever. I didn't care for that. I thought it had nothing to do with the movie, and it had generally no impact overall. And also, how did that whole selling plates with the pie with her topless not have any like repercussions of them dating in the future? Like, surely she would have found out about that and then not wanted to date the nerd guy, but
dude, you're not supposed to think about that.
Well, too bad, buddy. The one time that I actually think about it and you guys don't want to praise me for it, so fuck you. I'm gonna keep going. But, I don't know. I thought this movie was just silly, and when I'm watching comedies, I'm not, like, super... I didn't, like, bust a gut, but, like, I didn't hate the movie either, so it's just kind of, like, it's kind of whatever. I thought it was enjoyable. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I thought it was an alright comedy for the most part. Like, obviously parts of it are a bit dated. You know, the panty raid, the using cameras to spy on people, the rape scene.
Anyway, we're gonna move past that. I didn't know, I'm sorry.
I feel like that's a much more common thing that they wouldn't include in comedy movies now. Like, I feel like even like 2010 or 2011, that's the sort of thing you'd absolutely still see in comedies. I feel like it's much more recent where it's like, oh, that's not so good. Like, I think there was some, like, small person comedian who was talking about how he did, like, this exact same thing, basically, to a girl during, like, one of his sets. Pretty rough, not gonna lie. But Yeah, it's a fine film for the most part. Any like real emotional core that it tries to have, I feel like definitely does fall flat. Like the ending where they're all saying, oh, we're all nerds, guys, isn't this cool? Yeah. It's like, sure, it's fine, but I definitely feel like it needed something more after that to sort of like see like what actually became of like all this. Like, okay, what did this whole thing actually do for the campus and how did it change things? We don't really get anything that makes it feel like any of this is really worthwhile for the most part. And also just what's the main girl's name, like Betty or something like that? Yeah, like her big turn at the end was very strange. It was like, oh, I got dick down good, so now I'm okay with all the nerds and everything.
Yeah.
And like they're giving like the big I'm a nerd speech, and like come up here if you're a nerd too, and like she comes up there and it's like, are you just up here because you're into nerds? Like, it does. We've gotten nothing from you that makes it seem like you feel like you're an outcast either at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty much my exact thoughts. Betty's flip is weird and frankly, I think, unjustified. The ending is... granted, this came out in, 1984, but it's so cliche. The whole, come on, guys, don't you ever feel like an outsider, too? Or whatever. It's just, I thought it was pretty funny. I was able to put my headspace into the 1980s, so the rape scene didn't bother me. I'm just like, okay, this is something people thought was funny back in the day. I don't particularly find it funny myself, but it doesn't like it's not like triggering visceral disgust in me the way it did with Jackson.
Yeah, same here. I think it's not cool. I don't think that's something that should be in the movie, but at the same time it's like, I can divorce myself from it enough to make it be like, whatever, it's just something that they did back then, I guess.
I can accept that comedy movies have their sort of their own internal logic that does not conform to real life, I suppose.
Guapish message, don't rape people.
Yeah.
Unless it's funny.
No, well, no.
Cutting that
Don't
part
do it
out. Don't rape people, please.
I mean, and one other thing that I was going to say, though, too, is just, like, it's weird in movie... This is unrelated to the rape thing, just for pretense here. It's interesting seeing movies like this where because I think I've said this before, we've probably said it in general before, how okay things were to put into movies before. Like, you could definitely see a shift in movie creation where it was just not okay to say certain words or show certain things or to do certain actions. So it's always jarring in these movies, especially when you don't know if it's gonna like fully commit to full nudity or not, or swear words or certain, terms or whatever you're gonna say. So, it's a funny thing to see have happen, especially in a movie like this. It was very weird. All right, is that all we got to say about Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah, do we have any further thoughts on this film?
If Jackson were here, he would after we rated it, but he's not.
Oh yeah.
And
with that, he gave it a D-.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it's a little harsh.
A little bit. He did say he dropped the entire letter rank because of the rape scene.
He said he dropped it over an entire letter rank. He would have been a C before. Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
And I'm a little higher than his original rank. I'm gonna give it a C+.
I gave it a B+.
Holy shit! I also gave it a B+.
Wow, and that puts it
at a C+.
Oh.